Well, thanks everybody for coming out. It's totally awesome that we could kind of get some metal drumming action going here today. We're basically kind of, my whole plan for having a clinic and all this kind of stuff was just to kind of like bring a little bit more awareness to kind of the metal scene in Winnipeg and that kind of stuff. I've been working with Corey a lot, who's going to be coming up a little bit later to do his thing. We got well, Corey Thomas and Derek Kroll here, some good buddies of mine. And, yeah, I can't believe this is finally the day kind of thing. So yeah, we're basically kind of trying to support Metalfest and that kind of thing. If those of you who don't know what Metalfest is, this is the 11th year of putting this on. Corey's been doing this for 11 years now, and kind of just started off with a bunch of local bands and stuff like that, and now it's getting bigger and bigger. We got Suffocation coming this year and that kind of stuff. So today we're basically gonna be doing different types of drumming. Everybody here kind of has a different kind of style in terms of metal drumming and kind of what we're proficient at and that kind of thing. So we're going to be covering a bunch of topics and that kind of thing. So for those of you who are 18 plus, we're doing a draw for 2 free tickets to the Friday show at Metalfest, which is next Friday. We got ballots at the back there, and so you can enter that. Yeah, we're going to be doing some more draws and stuff like that as well through the store in the coming couple weeks. We've got Yamaha, who is going to be helping us out with some stuff. Evans, PV, going to be doing some giveaways for some a PV combo amp. And I think we're doing something with the drum kit or something like that.
Drum kit, ESP.
Yeah. Oh yeah, an ESP guitar or an LTD guitar. Yeah, you can enter to win online, and we'll have stuff at the store. We're going to be at the zoo at Metalfest as well. Yeah, we're just trying to build this up a little bit, get people more excited about the festival and about metal in the city, and because we got a really great scene here. So yeah, might as well just get this thing going on here. Basically, today I'm going to talk about, there's so many different aspects of drumming in general, and then metal drumming as well as just such a broad range of different types of styles and different types of techniques that you can use in order to play different types of things. There's extreme metal where you're just like going insane all the time. There's which I think most people here are kind of more into. But like there's thrash and there's grind and there's so many different kinds. So I think what I'm going to talk about today is I'm gonna go a little bit into kind of what I do as far as practice and warming up. I want to talk about a little bit about my technique. I'm going to talk about my hands, I'm going to talk about my feet and how they relate to each other. Yeah, I guess I'm going to just kind of start off with that, and I think I'm going to talk a little bit about playing an odd time, because that's kind of one of the things that I've kind of been studying over the last, say, 10 years or so. I started playing when I was about 15, and 34 now, so it's been most of my life that I've been sitting behind the drum kit and kind of banging away. So I was a teacher for about 5.5 years, and I quit about 2 years ago just to kind of take a break and that kind of thing. So it's kind of nice to kind of get back into it and be able to do it in front of a group of people and have some really good friends to come and share with that. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about stick control and that kind of thing, because if you don't have stick control, then you're going to be sloppy. And with any kind of drumming, it doesn't matter who you're playing with or whatever, you got to be a solid drummer. You got to be able to keep time, you got to be able to count and kind of know where you are, and it's extremely hard, especially when you can't hear your band and stuff like that. You kind of got to be, you know, you got to have it in your head so that your band can rely on you to be there. I played a show last night where I couldn't hear anything on stage, and I definitely screwed up a bunch of times. And you know, but you just kind of got to keep going and that kind of thing. So a couple kind of exercises that I like to do is one of the first actual exercises that I ever learned was just something to kind of get your sticks moving. And when you're hitting a drum, first of all, how many people here are actually drummers, like that actually play the drums? Yeah, put up your hand. Okay, cool. There's lots of different techniques and ways of holding your sticks. You got traditional grip and stuff like that, you know, like this kind of thing. This is called match grip. The most important thing for me, this is just coming from my own perspective really, is you have to be able to bounce your sticks, okay? If you're super tight all the time, then you're going to be tensing up, you're not going to be able to get a free range of motion and stuff like that. And to me, that's kind of the most important thing about drumming, is that you want to have a nice free flowing motion to be able to just to keep maintaining that flow and the groove. I'm a very groove oriented person. Even though I play really technical types of music, it always starts off with a very simple groove. It might be a groove in odd time or something like that, but it's just broken down to something very, very simple. And then as the song starts to progress and we jam out the song more and more, then I start adding rolls and I start adding different little fills and all that kind of stuff, just to build that groove and then make it a little bit more and more technical that way. So the first exercise that I would suggest that you know, if you're looking for something to do, is to I call it the 8-1-8 exercise. So basically what it is you play 8 strokes on one hand, and then you play 8 strokes on the other hand, and then you play 7 strokes in one hand, and then 7 on the other hand, and then 6 and 6 and 5 and 5 and 4 and 4 and 3 and 3 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. So you go 8 down to 1 and then back up without stopping. Okay. So I'll just give you an example of that quickly. So I'll do it slow. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can see that my stick is moving in a really wide arc. I try to keep all my strokes like that, even when I'm blasting and stuff. Try to keep that arc because that's where your power is going to come from. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So super simple exercise, but really what I'm doing is I'm trying to warm up, trying to get loose. I'm trying to make sure that my hands are, that my technique is right, so that my sticks are moving to the same height. Okay. The faster you play, the arc kind of gets a little bit smaller, and there's different ways that you can kind of use your fingers to get different types of strokes and stuff like that, but that's kind of what you do. I'll practice this with a metronome, and then just gradually speed it up as I go. The hardest part about this exercise, it seems kind of simple, but going from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. That's the hardest part, because it's the space in between the different variations is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and it kind of takes your brain a second to process it. So the more you practice it, I find that it helps to, when you're playing metal drumming, you're playing a lot of really fast stuff, and you have to switch around and you got to move across the kit very, very quickly. So it kind of helps you to like kind of be able to just switch really, really fast. So I'll try to some faster here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, So that's a good exercise just to kind of warm up, and you can do it over and over again. I'll even do it on my feet. So just like with this is my both feet on the kick drum, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Helps build independence and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm not even gonna bother using this thing. You guys can hear me, eh?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Some more other basic stuff that I really just. It's just stuff that you have to I just constantly focus on because it's all the basics. That as long as you have that stuff down, then you can get through your song and you can throw in all your fancy stuff, but really all the basics still have to be there. So working on really basic rudiments, and there's like rudiment papers and stuff around here. If you guys don't have them, you can grab them from the back there or whatever. But there's basically 3 different types of things that I use. And there's tons of different variations on this, but I find that everything kind of all relates to this. So, of course, the first thing is single strokes. So just being able to do this kind of thing. And you want a really good range of motion in your sticks. Okay. So being able to do really good single strokes. Then double strokes, of course. So you want to be able to do these nice and even. All this stuff comes into play when you're doing insane rolls around the drum kit. Oh, the other one is, I might as well just say this one first. Paradiddles. To me, this is the most important one, kind of, because what it is it's a combination of single strokes and double strokes. Paradiddle is right, left, and then left, right, left, left. Okay, but you can't play it like right, left, right, left, left. It's got to be like 16th notes, basically. So right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. I'm going to go into a little bit more about playing paradiddles and technique and stuff like that, because it took me probably about 10 years to be able to actually learn how to do it properly. But it was just because I didn't really have anyone show me how to do it properly. So, so when you're doing rolls and stuff like that, you know, you can the average roll of the average drummer is you do it faster. You know, so getting your single strokes so that they're nice and even, and then just practicing the speed, gradually getting faster and faster with a metronome and stuff like that. You'll be able to. Okay, you want to be able to practice and move around the kit as much as possible. Same with double strokes. So once you start adding double strokes into your rolls. Same thing as sitting there with your pad, playing double strokes around. But then you can add stuff around. So now you're not just going. Right now you can go. So that just. Metal's all kind of about doing stuff that kind of pushes the envelope, you know, and trying to be really creative and do something that somebody's going to look at and say, wow, how do they do that? Or just kind of breaking out of the box or whatever. But once you get into paradiddles, this is where it starts getting really cool, because there's so many different versions and variations and permutations of a paradiddle that you could play around the kit. First of all, when it comes to paradiddles, my biggest problem that I always had with playing paradiddles was it never sounded even. And so basically a paradiddle is right, left, right, left, okay? Now, one thing after when I started teaching, I started having to really analyze my own playing, which is really tough, because I had to explain something that I've been doing for years and years, and that I learned years ago, to you know, a 8-year-old kid, you know, how to play a paradiddle or something like that, you know. But if I can't do it properly, I kind of feel weird
trying to tell a kid how to do it. So I really had to analyze my own playing, and my biggest issue was that this is what they used to sound like. It's really off, kind of not really very smooth, when really that should sound like 16th notes. Like, should have them all being even, okay? So one thing I realized, and throughout my teaching and stuff like that, is that this is just a very common thing. Most people are right-handed, or whatever, but your weak hand is not gonna move the same as your strong hand. And the thing that I found that I was doing was, this hand had a nice smooth motion. This hand was like pretty much static. Okay. Another thing as well, I might as well add right now, is that when you're drumming, or when I'm drumming, I like to keep moving. If you stop, then it takes energy and time to start something from moving, or to start something moving, and it also takes time and energy to stop something moving. Okay, talking about physics. So if you don't stop moving, then you don't have to worry about all those little fractions of a second that you're wasting and throwing away, and all that energy that you're throwing away as well. So what I started doing is really just playing slow. And what I do is right, left, right, right. So on the double stroke, raise your hand that's not playing really high up in the air. Okay? And then you want to bring this one down to do the left, right, left, left. So. So instead of going and then having your sticks stopping and then having to start them again, your hand is already up in the air. All you got to do is bring it down. Okay? And also, when it is up in the air, now you can bring it down here, you bring it down here, you bring it down over here, anywhere you want. It's right here, and it can just be anywhere, anywhere. So, so then the idea now is that you want to have your hands moving in the same motion. And as soon as I figured this out, it was like, oh, all of a sudden my paradiddles got better. So. So start adding that around the kit. So now on the first hit of the paradiddle, so the right of the right, left, right, right, and the left of the left, right, left, left, you can say hit a tom or something like that. So right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left. Okay. So then you can add two toms. Doing it in any specific order. Is just to get used to moving around the kit and playing a paradiddle. So, you know, eventually once you get the speed going, you can so it's the same thing, just a little bit faster. And you can also make a paradiddle into a groove. Different ways you can do it. You can add it with your feet. So replace the right hand with your right foot, and keep your left hand doing the same thing. So right, 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 left. Now I don't necessarily play this like as a groove for like whole song or something like that, but it's a way that you can add variation into your playing. So that it's not the exact same thing every single time. Or you can use these types of things in order to accent like a guitar part or a bass part or something like that. Okay? Play 8 notes on your hi-hat just like you would like a regular rocker or something like that. You get. Okay? So then you speed it up, you kind of get a little bit more of a funkier type of feel. Like. Here's where the groove kind of starts to come in. Okay, Now we're getting away from just like single straight metronomic time, and you want to add a little bit of groove in there because that's what's going to make people bang their head, right? Raise their fist or whatever. Okay. And then, you know, you just play faster. One day I was waiting for my girlfriend to get off work, and I was like sitting there and I was trying to figure out what can I do to really complicate things as far as like sticking and paradiddles and stuff like that. And so, you know, what I thought is like, well, what we can do is play a paradiddle on the kit, but every time you play with one hand, you're going to play a different drum or something like that, okay? So, here's a challenge for you. So, what I thought is, okay, I'm just going to play with my hi-hat and my snare drum, just to kind of keep it more of like a groove-oriented type of thing. So, I'm going to go back and forth between these two. So, you're going to start off with your right hand on the hi-hat. It doesn't matter really where you start, but this is kind of my pattern. Right, left, okay, on your snare. Now, because you used your right hand on the hi-hat the first time, you're going to have to use it on the snare the second time. Right, left, right. So just keep the two or double strokes together, just because it's easier, and especially when you're playing at faster speed, you're not going to be able to switch between toms and stuff like that. It's just, you might as well just keep it like that, it's for practice anyway. So right, left, right, right, and then now because you started off with your left hand on the snare, your hand's going to move over here. Left, right, left, and then there's another version, right, left, right, left, right, left, and then right, left, right, left. Does that make sense? Kind of. Okay. So just practicing that slowly, and just keep time on your kick drum. Left, right, left, left, right, left, left. So it doesn't sound like anything really, but it's just a cool beat, and it has a kind of a cool groove to it. Okay. Now once I started practicing that, I was like, well, I can play that anywhere. That's how I kind of, you get it to move around the drum kit, okay? Play it on your hi-hats, or your cymbals or whatever. So, I could keep going on and on about that, but I won't. So that's just kind of something that you can kind of work on, okay? How much time do I have? 10 minutes? Okay. Let's make this quick here. I want to talk more about my grip and how a stick works. I think a lot of drummers don't understand how a stick actually works. And then I'll talk a little bit about odd time and stuff like that too, just to kind of like give you a bit of a taste of that kind of thing. Now, if a stick is a fulcrum, I'm not a scientist. I've done a little bit of studying and stuff like that, but a stick is a fulcrum. And what you're doing is you're using leverage in order to create a force that you're going to transfer into your drums, which is going to create a reaction from those drums, which is going to create resonance in the air, which is going to create sound in your ears. And then your brain is going to interpret that stuff. So that we get music, we get sound, and rhythm, and that kind of thing. So, being very tight, and what I see a lot of young drummers, and even like older guys that have been playing for a really, really long time, is that when they start getting into the higher speeds of things and higher tempos, it's like a panic. You're just like, ooh, you know, and you're trying to like blast, and you just like start like messing up and everything, and you just can't do it. You got to stay loose, and I mean it takes like practice to be able to do that. Okay, but also having the understanding how a stick actually works is really important as well. Okay, so when you're hitting a drum, you're hitting at a certain direction, okay, with a certain amount of force that you're putting into that drum. And that force that you put into that drum is going to be almost exactly equal to the force that's coming out of the drum. Okay? So what's happening is you're striking the drum. It's going to be the head flexes. So here's, I'll pretend this is the drum here. Striking the drum, the head flexes, and shoot your stick back up. Okay? Now the direction of the force is going to be the exact same but opposite. So you put that force going down that way, it's going to come up the same way. Okay? So you can imagine that your head is actually pushing the stick up. Okay? When you hit a drum and you just go like that, all that force that you just created from coming down and swinging your arm down, if you just stop it, all that force jars your arm. It can damage your muscles, it can damage your tendons, it can give you lots of complications in the future, kind of thing. So what you want to do is you want to use that force, though, because you've created this this intense energy, okay? And you don't want that to leave the stick. You want to have that flow going back and forth between your stick and the drum and your arm and stuff as well, okay? So what you want to do is you want to let that stick really bounce off, okay? Now, what happens to a stick when you... What do I trace here? The force is going to be going straight down here when you hit a drum. You put, especially when it's a snare drum, you're putting that force right down, and really it's mostly going straight towards the floor. Okay, so the force is coming straight up. So what happens to the stick when that force goes back into the stick? Anybody know? Drummers? Anyone? What will actually happen to the stick? What's that? It'll bounce back up. Right. But is it going to fly off to the side? Okay. Okay. So here's the example. Okay. So pretend this is the force going straight up here. I'm going to hit straight up. Okay. The stick doesn't fly off to the side. It doesn't like go straight up in the air or anything. It spins in a circle. Okay. If we were in a non-gravity field or a vacuum, if you will, then the stick would continue to spin. Okay, until some other type of force comes and stops it. Okay, so the forces that will stop the stick on the Earth are gravity, air resistance, and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's going to hit the ground. So here's the thing now. You gotta use that to your advantage. Because if you're going to be playing insanely fast for an insanely long period of time, you need to be able to control that. Okay? So here's my grip that I mainly use. I use two kinds of main grips. It's either my middle finger, and it's normally right around there. There's a sweet spot on the stick there, right? And your fingers 99.999% of the time are always on the stick. Okay? And what you want is that when you hit that drum, you want that stick to come back up, just like that. Okay? And you want to use that, because I'm not really using any energy. I've created energy by coming down like this, but I want that stick to come back. And that's what's going to give you the ability, of course, training your fingers and stuff like that as well is going to give you the ability to pull off those super fast rolls and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of just touching on that kind of thing there. If I should do odd time or not. How many people play in odd time? Okay. Do you guys do you know what that is? What I'm talking about? Odd time? Okay. Odd time, what I mean by odd time is instead of playing in 4 or just groups of 4, it's like groups of 7, groups of 5, and that kind of stuff. So back in the day, I started getting into Dream Theater and stuff, and Mike Portnoy, and picked up some of his videos and that kind of thing, and his approach to it, and it's pretty much how I approach it now, just from watching the video or whatever. But I use this to be creative. I have an insane guitar player that likes to write all these insane riffs that don't make any sense, and so it's just like, oh, how do I actually write a drum beat to that? Okay, so what I try to do is to find the different kinds of groupings and then work with it that way. So this, to me, the simplest way of playing odd time is to say, okay, if you're going to be playing in 7, we already know how to play in 4. I'll say this right now. Metal drumming is pretty much rock drumming, but at extreme speed. Okay? Thrash beats and stuff like that, you know, are basically, you know, some dude in his garage was just like, I'm gonna play some metal. You know, but then he turns it into, you add a flam on your kick pedal. You go, and somebody said, well, let's just do some blast beats instead. So all that technique and stuff, that all comes in. Okay. Now you know how to play in 3 as well, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, something like that. Okay. So then you add a bar 4 and a bar 3 together, and you get 7. As well. So it's kind of tough because it's not you know, it's not natural. You're not used to playing, not used to hearing that. In most music, it's mostly that kind of stuff. But if you can play that, that's awesome. And you just add like just a bar 3 after that, and you got on time. So yeah, I think I'm out of time. I think I should probably shut up now. So, yeah, thanks for coming out, and thanks for listening, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I guess we'll have who's next? Derek's gonna come up here and he's gonna show some of his stuff. Thank you very much.